Fans think Ethan and Ariana have broken up for a few reasons. They were last seen together at the Oscars on March 9th. They sat very far apart from each other. Ariana sat with her parents. They used to be seen everywhere together, and now in her most recent paparazzi photos.
The fact that this man blew up his entire marriage, his family, left his wife and baby for Ariana Grande for a temporary relationship, all knowing her history and the way that she operates, is absolutely crazy.
Blind items, a grainy lunch snap, and suddenly Ariana Grande is being whispered into another married man's orbit while Ethan Slater allegedly loses his cool. If the rumor mill is right, this is not a throwaway gossip beat, but a deja vu headline that would make any PR team sweat. Tonight, we're unpacking the timeline, the receipts, the blind item noise, the history with Ethan Slater, the Aaron Taylor Johnson whispers, and the ugly optics that leave spouses and families holding the fallout.
It's been blind items circulating that Ariana Grande is dating Aaron Taylor Johnson, who is married to Sam Taylor Johnson. A lot of people who are kind of supportive of that relationship.
I'll tell you what's verified, what's blind item theater, what the internet insists it sees, and why this pattern, alleged or real, keeps circling celebrities who can't seem to catch a break.
Blind item reads, every Reddit user who loves this married three-named actor might actually get their wish. Word is he grabbed lunch last week with the A-list singer and actress. And again, this is allegedly Ariana Grande going out on a date with Aaron Taylor Johnson and people wishing that he would leave his wife.
Here's what ignited the latest gossip storm. Blind items started circulating that an A-list singer was spotted having a casual lunch with a married three-name actor, and social feeds quickly pointed fingers at Ariana Grande and Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yahoo ran a roundup noting a viral blind item post and a photo that people felt showed the two together, which created the first spike of speculation. That viral blind item, as usual, landed in DMs and gossip aggregators before mainstream outlets began reporting the chatter as a trending rumor rather than a proven story.
So one person I actually really am a fan of is Ariana Grande. I think she has an amazing voice, can act really well, has a great personality around her fans, and is also just a very beautiful person. That being said, she's absolutely batshit crazy when it comes to relationships, and now she just split from Ethan Slater. Explaining this, Ariana Grande has been accused of being a serial cheater since she was a teenager on Victorious. The claim came from Ricky Valentina, who said that she was dating an extra on Victorious at the time, and Ariana Grande was texting him often, even though she was well aware that he had a girlfriend.
Before we chase shadows, rewind the tape on the prior chapter because context explains a lot of emotional reactions. Ariana's public romantic timeline has been high profile in recent years. Her split from Dalton Gomez in 2023, headlines about new attachments, and then the widely publicized romance with Ethan Slater, her Wicked co-star. The tabloids and trade outlets traced that arc. Ariana and Ethan were linked in 2023 after her divorce, and Ethan finalized his split from his then-wife Lily J, which itself produced viral coverage. Those events left a messy cultural memory. People remember the way that relationship unfolded and the collateral damage that got shoved into headlines.
There was also the late Naya Rivera, who said she walked in on her fiance Big Sean with Ariana Grande on the couch where they were definitely not wearing a lot of clothing. Those were just two of about 7 cheating accusations Ariana Grande has, but then people thought in the early 2020s she moved on from that because she got married to Dalton Gomez, who's a real estate developer. He's not in Hollywood, it's gonna work. But nope, that didn't work either. She cheated on him with Ethan Slater, who is known for playing SpongeBob on Broadway and was also married with a kid. The two were engaged until recently, but they just called off the wedding with claims being that Ariana's toxic.
Ethan Slater's arc in the public record is straightforward and sourced. He and Lily J divorced after filing in 2023, and Lily J spoke publicly about the split later, which outlets like Billboard and the Los Angeles Times covered when she broke the silence about life after the divorce. Those are documented facts that form the concrete backdrop to any new Ariana-related rumor. It's also true that Ariana publicly defended Ethan against certain tabloid narratives in 2024 per Billboard, which complicates the public perception that she's a serial disruptor. She also pushed back at times. Now, about Aaron Taylor Johnson. He is a married actor in a long-term marriage to director Sam Taylor Johnson, and their relationship history has been the subject of public curiosity for years. because of their origins and the age gap when they first met. Profiles and interviews in outlets such as The Guardian and The Independent discuss their background and how the relationship began when he was very young, before they married in 2012 and later had children. That history is part of why any rumor tying Aaron to another famous woman creates extra social heat. People have long debated the dynamics of that marriage. So the new allegation, which, to be clear, is circulating primarily in blind item threads and social feeds, is that Ariana was spotted on a lunch or meetup with Aaron and that the two were photographed together, prompting speculation about an affair. Yahoo and other aggregators flagged that blind item and a photo that has been circulated online. But reputable outlets that verify sourcing have framed this as a rumor and noted that the image and claims are unverified or ambiguous. When you see headlines shouting "caught," remember, many of these start with blind posts that aren't confirmed. Let's do an evidence check. Verified on-the-record facts we can point to: Ariana and Ethan were publicly linked. Ethan's divorce from Lily J is a matter of public court record and has been widely reported. Aaron is married to Sam Taylor Johnson, and their marriage and origins have been covered in reputable profile pieces. Unverified items, screenshots of private texts, leaked audio clips, and blind item allegations about Ariana and Aaron. These are circulating but have not been corroborated by outlets that require independent verification. Where those claims appear, they largely trace back to blind item posts and social speculation, not to court filings or authenticated messages. What's so combustible about the latest whisper is how it aligns with a narrative pattern the internet has already built. Ariana moves quickly, a high-profile man's marriage phrased in public, and then gossip feeds morph into conspiracy. Fans and detractors alike notice patterns and interpret intentions. That pattern reading is part of the reason why the Aaron item took flame so fast. Throw in Aaron's own controversial origin story with Sam, which has been discussed in the press, and you have a narrative template the internet knows how to run with. Let's parse the blind item machinery because it's essential to understanding how these rumors spread. Blind items are anonymous posts, sometimes accurate, often not, that allege salacious behavior without naming verified sources. They get amplified by accounts that thrive on gossip, by Reddit threads that stitch together receipts, and by influencer channels that turn speculation into viewable content. Yahoo's recent coverage described exactly this arc: blind item, viral photo, social media debate. That's the current path for the Aaron rumor. Now to the human fallout. Ethan Slater's name appears in this story as the ex or the recent romance that ended in headlines. If you read the seed material, it frames Ethan as the married co-star who left a family, but the public record shows Ethan's divorce was filed in 2023 and has since been finalized. And the media documented Lily J's reaction, which made headlines at the time. What about Aaron and Sam? The historical coverage of their relationship shows why audiences keep circling these topics. Aaron and Sam met when he was young and she was established, and their union has prompted discussion about power dynamics in celebrity relationships, a conversation covered by reputable outlets that profile their marriage and public work. But that background is not proof of current impropriety. It's the context that fuels interpretation when new photos appear. Context matters, but context is not a smoking gun. Social reaction has been exactly what you'd expect: a kaleidoscope of fandom, fury, and theory making. Fans on Reddit and X mapped out hypothetical timelines, while TikTok creators stitched the rumored lunch photo with throwback clips to create a compelling rumor arc. Some viewers cheered Ariana as a savior who could rescue a complicated marriage, a strange and problematic refrain in some corners, while others condemned the idea as pattern behavior and likened it to earlier episodes. The split reaction is itself a story. People choose teams based on affinity, not facts. Now let's come to the allegation of inappropriate text and the references to private messages and an audio clip. Here's how to treat that in a responsible gossip rundown. The texts are alleged, circulating in blind item and social feeds, but they have not been reproduced or authenticated by a major news outlet as of the reporting that flagged the lunch photo rumor. If any tabloid prints a screenshot, label it as tabloid alleged until verified. In short, loud, but not independently corroborated. Let's pivot to motive and optics because that's where critique bites. If there's truth to multiple episodes where Ariana appears linked to partnered men in quick succession, critics say it suggests a pattern of chaotic cycles that leave real people, spouses, exes, and children in the crossfire. Supporters counter that adults make adult choices and that public speculation often weaponizes women's sexuality more than men's behavior. This argument fuels the polarized online reaction and explains why blind items land differently across audiences. Both frames are visible in outlets and forums. People and Billboard document the factual timelines, while Reddit and tabloid feeds shape the moral narratives. Ethan's side of the story is the heartbreaking one in public perception, because there were reports of a wife and small child affected by his divorce. Lily J's statements and public reactions were covered in various outlets. The humane element of her voice, talking about family damage and grief, resonated with readers when it was reported. If Ethan were to publicly respond to a fresh Ariana-Aaron rumor with anger, we'd expect outlets to quote him or his reps. Until then, claim Ethan explodes is dramatic headline copy, not confirmed reporting. Now for a provocative midway read. This cycle is less about one person's alleged moral calculus and more about how celebrity ecosystems replicate certain dynamics. Big names, intoxicating new attention, and the social appetite for romanticized scandal create the conditions that make quick entanglements into cultural spectacles. Ariana's fame magnifies everything. Every coffee, every lunch, every friendly hug becomes a narrative node. That's not a moral judgment, it's an observation about scale and consequence. Let's test the pattern theory against facts. Ariana's post-divorce life. She split from Dalton Gomez in 2023, then her association with Ethan Slater was publicized and followed by his divorce filing, documented by People and other outlets. The alleged Aaron sighting is a separate new blind item that, as of now, relies on a single circulated photo and anonymous post. In concrete terms, the only verifiable chain is divorce, new public partnership, ex's divorce finalized, all recorded. The Aaron narrative is still a blind item rumor amplified by social media. See how pattern and rumor can look similar until you draw a source line? Here's the emotional ledger. Families and children are collateral damage when the rumor engine ramps up. Lily J's public statements after her divorce, documented by Billboard and the Los Angeles Times, pointed to the real human cost of headline-making romances, family disruption, public scrutiny, and long-term reputational consequences. When new rumors name another married actor, critics who watched that earlier fallout are primed to react with protective fury. That's understandable and explains why many online voices responded with outrage moralizing rather than curiosity. A practical critique of celebrity PR logic. When a blind item surfaces, the default moves inside these ecosystems are predictable: silence, selective denials, and behind-the-scenes damage control. If this rumor has legs, PR teams will calculate whether to deny, ignore, or weaponize the next beats into a controlled narrative. In the era of streaming and subscription metrics, controversy can be repurposed. It gains attention, which can be diffused or monetized depending on the cast's appetite and counsel. That's an interpretive point grounded in how entertainment PR operates. Now, what does this mean for Aaron and Sam if the rumor endures? Aaron is a working actor with a family. Sam is a director with a public profile. Repeated attachment rumors can strain a marriage and invite a barrage of social commentary about power and agency, especially given their history. If the blind item is true, it would be an explosive addition to a marriage that's already been subject to public debate. If it's false, it's a cruel smear for a family with children. That's the binary cruelty of blind item culture. For Ariana, the reputational calculus is complicated. She's a top-tier pop star with tremendous cultural capital and commercial value. She is also someone who has been both defended and criticized by fans and outlets over the last few years. A new rumor about her and yet another married man would feed a narrative arc many critics already believe exists. But it could also be a false positive, a lunch shot misread, a blind item misattributed, or a rumor amplified for clicks. The stakes are both personal and professional. Social reaction will likely continue this script. Creators will splice the alleged lunch photo into reaction videos, late night hosts will toss the bit into monologues, and tabloids will repackage anonymous gossip as near certainty. Reddit threads will assemble selective receipts into timelines. That is the usual choreography. If you've seen this movie before, it's because the entertainment ecosystem repeats itself, and it feeds on the human impulse to prefer scandal over nuance. Let's forecast likely next steps. First, watch for authoritative outlets to either corroborate or discredit the lunch photo. Verification matters. Second, expect social creators to keep the rumor alive for traffic. Third, anticipate private damage control. Statements from reps, quiet family mediation, or curated family photos released to remind the public of stability. Those are the standard playbook items. Now, a sharper interpretive claim at the midpoint. The celebrity dating rumor machine functions as a cycle of attention extraction. Whether Ariana is involved or not, her name in a blind item creates renewed engagement with her brand, and engagement is currency. That does not mean she engineered the rumor, but it does mean that in the modern celebrity economy, relationships and rumors become content. If people feel used or wounded, that's a human cost of a system that monetizes private life. Another reality check. Not every rumor is true, and not every public proximity equals intention. Actors sit in restaurants, friends have lunch, and cameras capture ambiguous frames that thirst for narrative. But the inverse truth is also real. Some relationships are messy and do involve betrayal. The problem is distinguishing between the two in an ecosystem that rewards certainty. So the ethical bottom line, and the pragmatic one for careers and families, is to avoid cementing reputations on blind items alone. That's the case for both celebrities and those who write about them. Let's be blunt about the emotional fallout for the actual people involved. If Ethan Slater sees another headline suggesting Ariana's entanglement with a married actor, that's raw fuel on a previous trauma he and his ex-family experienced during their split. Lily J's earlier comments documented in outlets showed a desire to assert dignity amid chaos. The return of a similar rumor will likely reopen wounds. The human beings behind the headlines matter, and their pain is part of the ledger that gossip often ignores. Finally, what would success look like for the public? Accurate reporting. If the Aaron rumor is true, reputable outlets will document it. If it's false, cold verification will quash the chatter. In the meantime, the better bet for consumers is to treat blind items as rumor entertainment, not as facts, while holding sympathy for people whose lives become spectacle. That's not a lecture, it's a reality map of how this story is likely to proceed. So where does that leave us tonight? The provable facts: Ethan Slater's divorce and his past relationship with Ariana are documented. Aaron Taylor Johnson is married to Sam Taylor Johnson and has a public marital history. The new Ariana-Aaron lunch rumor is circulating as a blind item and a photo that has not been authoritatively verified. The interpretive consequences are messy. Pattern reading, public anger, and reputational risk for everyone involved. And don't sleep on the PR choreography that's already humming. If this blind item picks up steam, expect a staged flood of curated images and family-first posts designed to reset the narrative. The exact playbook outlets like People and Billboard have documented in past celebrity spats. Quiet denials, selective silence, and a timed social media push can blunt short-term damage even when the rumor mill is roaring. Meanwhile, the meme economy will do the rest of the work for free. Creators on TikTok and commentators on X will splice the alleged lunch photo into reaction reels, stitch it with throwback clips, and package the whole thing as a neat little scandal arc for the algorithm. Fans on Reddit are already building the timeline in real time. That rapid repackaging turns a blurry image and an anonymous whisper into collective cultural truth, whether it actually deserves that status or not.
And remember the human ledger behind the headlines.
Lily J's public responses to Ethan's split were covered in outlets like Billboard and the Los Angeles Times, and remind us that these stories have real victims beyond the celebrity shock value. If this evolves into another messy public saga, the personal cost for ex-partners, kids, and spouses dragged into speculation will be the part no one monetizes but everyone pays. So which side do you take? Are you seeing a repeating pattern or a rumor-fueled witch hunt? Subscribe, like, comment your hot take, and tell me, is this deja vu or just another blind item false alarm?